Today I'm sharing everything I sewed in 2024, so if you want to peek into my handmade wardrobe and hear what worked, what didn't, and what I learned along the way, then you're in the right place. I'll give you all the details about the patterns and the fabrics I used, plus grade each project so you can learn from my successes and my mistakes. Let's start with my striped Callen sweater. I made mine in a horizontally ribbed striped double knit from Denver Fabrics. And these dramatic wide cut 3/4 length sleeves and that faux button closure at the neckline, I think they really elevate it just kind of beyond a basic top. So I absolutely love wearing it with cigarette pants or with black shorts. And it's just one of those pieces that makes you look put together without really trying, you know. The only downside I think is that the fabric feels a little bit synthetic. I searched everywhere for baton stripe merino knit, but I really came up empty-handed. So if I made this again, I'd definitely go for a heavy French terry instead. So overall, I'm giving this one a B. Next up is my blue floral Dara blouse, which honestly might be my favorite make of the year. So I especially love pairing it with overalls when I'm working from home. It's just so cute. This ditzy floral print just makes me so happy every time I put it on. And this was such an easy sew, and I wore it constantly through spring and summer. It's definitely earned an A grade, and I'm already planning another one. So maybe I'll make the next one in a sweet little check print. For my third project, I tackled the Colette ginger skirt in white corduroy. Now, this pattern is one of my favorites for a really good reason because it's so quick to sew and it's really versatile. So I used version 3, which has a straight waistband, and then I cut it on the bias to create this really beautiful chevron effect with the wales of the corduroy. The high waist and the definite A-line shape are exactly what I look for in a skirt. My only complaint is that the thick corduroy makes the invisible zipper a little tricky at the waistband, so I probably should have used a metal zipper instead. Still, I wore this constantly in spring, though I kind of forgot about it in the fall. So note to self, pair it with brown or an olive sweater, and I think this one gets an A. Moving on to my blue floral Chantelle dress in rayon challis. So this dress has such a great 90s vibe with its princess seams and the notched collar. It was just perfect for hot weather, and I really loved wearing it with red clog sandals. There's just one little thing that bugs me because I had to use smaller buttons than the pattern called for, but I forgot to adjust the button placement. So now the front feels a little bit loose and a little bit flappy. But the print is also quite bold compared to my usual style. So while I wore it tons in the summer, I'm just giving it a B because of those little details that I'd change. Next, let's talk about my floral Sloan dress. These bubble sleeves. So I used a 7-berry English garden print, thinking it would be similar to the lawn that I had used for my Dara blouse that I showed you before. Unfortunately, it ended up looking a bit like a pillowcase. So it's actually more of a quilting cotton, which wasn't the right choice for this dress exactly. So even though the pattern itself is beautiful, I don't really wear this one that much. So I'd love to try it again in a crisp black or cream poplin just for date nights or something. So this one gets a C, but I'm chalking it up to a learning experience about fabric choice. Now let's talk about the Fifer tank that I made in Eyelet. So I absolutely love how I use the border of the eyelet to create the ruffle and along the hem. It's just such a pretty detail. So the pattern has this really nice A-line silhouette with a scoop neck, and those bust darts give it a really flattering shape. But here's what I learned. I really should have sized down for this one. So being between sizes is a little bit tricky, and this one feels a bit large, which makes it a little bit more revealing than I'd like. So I wore it a decent amount over the summer, especially with dark denim. I'd definitely make it again, but I'd make some fit adjustments. So I'm giving this one a B. And speaking of Fifer, I also made a dress version in this fantastic gingham red cotton that I found at a discount store near my parents' house. So I lengthened the pattern into a dress, keeping that beautiful ruffle detail at the neckline. And this was such an easy piece to throw on during hot weather or even as a cover up at the beach. So what I really discovered making this is just how much I love wearing bright red. It's become one of my favorite colors to sew with. So this one gets a solid B as well. Now the white baker dress. So this might be one of my favorite makes of the year. I used this beautiful lightweight linen, and then I added eyelet trim and this really special yoke. I really took my time with this one, adding lots of vintage-inspired details, and I'm just so proud of how it turned out. It actually inspired me to do more heirloom type sewing in the future. The only tricky part was matching the yoke to the yoke lining because I used different fabrics. So next time I might try using wash-away stabilizer for that. This one gets an A grade because it turned out exactly how I wanted. I loved the baker pattern so much that I also made a top version in cream fine cotton. So if you're curious about all the vintage details on both of my baker projects, I made a whole video about that, which I'm gonna link below. This top might actually be my most worn make of the year, which taught me something really important, that pretty detailed tops are absolutely worth the time investment because I just reach for them constantly. This is another A grade for this one. Now let's talk about the Reese Swimsuit. So I use this gorgeous red and white striped seersucker swimsuit fabric with a tan lining. The pattern has this really modern, clean look with a wide scoop neck and a shelf bra with cups for support. I love how the puckered texture of the seersucker adds this really interesting detail. The only downside is that I made it way too late in the season and I only wore it once. So my note to self is to start making summer clothes earlier and then go swimming more often. I'm still giving this one an A because the construction turned out exactly how I wanted. Next up are my ash dresses. So I made 3 of these gorgeous slip dresses in rayon challis. This one's in a black floral print that I've had forever in my stash. And this one is in this beautiful bright red floral. And then I made another one in this floral pattern that has cute little cats on it. What I absolutely love about these dresses is their body skimming shape, and they're surprisingly quick to sew. The adjustable straps are such a thoughtful detail too that makes them really wearable. So I've been wearing these constantly in warm weather, and now that it's cooler, I'm layering the black ones over knit tops, and they're definitely getting an A grade from me. Next is my statement piece of the year, the Benning dress in this amazing brown and cream checked gauze. So when I wore this to Stitch Fest in 2024, everyone kept asking to touch the fabric. It's just incredibly light and floaty, and I added these ruffle sleeve details that really transform the whole look. So while it's not an everyday dress, it absolutely deserves an A grade because it taught me an important lesson, that when you see a fabric you absolutely love, trust your instincts and go for it. I also changed out the facing for a bias tape binding at the neckline, and that's because the fabric is sheer. So I wore this over a slip, and I just wanted something that wasn't going to show through on the other side. Now let's talk about my venture into basics with the Alice tees. So I made 3 of these, and 2 of them were absolute wins. So the one I'm wearing and this one. So these 2 I made with this wonderful 1x1 rib knit from IC Fabrics. And if you're a Seamwork member, you actually get a discount there. So these long sleeve crew necks have become total wardrobe workhorses for me. I wear them with everything, with jeans, with A-line skirts, layered under dresses. They're getting an A grade because they prove that basics don't have to be boring to sew. But then there's my third Alice tee in this really gorgeous variegated organic cotton rib. And the color and texture were beautiful, but here's where things got interesting. And by interesting, I mean kind of challenging. So the fabric stretched out so much that the finished shirt ended up way bigger than the others. So I hardly wear it now, and I might actually repurpose it as a workout top. It gets a D grade, but it did teach me an important lesson about knits. They can be really unpredictable, and sometimes you just need to adjust your sizing based on the fabric's recovery. And then there's my Lisa cardigan in this beautiful heavy rib knit. So I actually made a whole video about this project because it was replacing this worn out fast fashion sweater that I had and loved. I used this gorgeous heavy cotton rib knit with lighter tubular ribbing for the facing and the cuffs. The V neckline detail turned out really beautifully, and I love that I can wear it either layered or as a top on its own. It's been in heavy rotation in my wardrobe, and it definitely earns an A grade. Plus, it taught me that sewing sweaters can be really fun when you find the right fabric. By the way, I'm sharing all my sewing projects on the channel, including what I plan to make at the beginning of each season, and then what I actually end up making at the end. I use our free sewing planner to decide what to make, and I'll put a link to that below so you can download it for free too. And if you want to see what I'm planning next, watch this video where I share all my winter sewing plans and help you plan your perfect winter wardrobe.